UFC Fight Night, Gamrot taking on Salkilld. We are going to break down each fight in main card. We're looking at the each fighter statistics and predicting how each fight is more likely to be played out. Let's start with the first fight of the main card, which is Billy Ragov taking on Ty Miller. Ty Miller being the favorite, and if we look at the stats of Billy Ragov, he is on a losing streak. He has lost of his two fights, and Ty Miller has no loss so far, one no contest, 5-inch reach advantage, and Ty Miller is its third fight in UFC, and if you look at its stats, he had KO last in January 2026. Gaethje versus Pemblet card, and then before that, his first fight's debut was in Dana White Contender Series with yeah, a unanimous decision. So it makes sense him being the betting favorite, minus 400 betting favorite. So I will go with the Ty Miller for this one. Let's move on to the next one, which is Amanda Lemus taking on Tainara. So Alexa Tainara is at 12th ranking. Amanda is at 8th position. And if you look at Amanda is on a losing streak, lost two of her fights, and then Alexia, she is on a winning streak, and she is winning last of her 5 fights. Quite impressive, but a loss of two fights were in loss of her 4 fights in a UFC, and all of went to the decision, one submission in 2025 March. Looking at the recent winning streak, I would go with Alexei Tainara. Let's move on. So next we have Darren Elkin versus Yadir Delwali. So hmm, they both lost their recent fight. I think there's the first loss that Yadir got. It was his last fight, and Darren also lost his last fight in April 2025. Uh, and it's the fifth fight for the Yadir in the UFC, and it's uh, well, Darren has more fights in that. So both are coming off their losses. And if you look, the Darren has a more wrestling background, and although it's underdog here, it's a pretty huge betting favorites. Yeah, they. But I think it could be a pretty interesting fight, having that wrestling background, and I didn't know the Yadid has that much of a wrestling defense. But yeah, still, I would go with the betting favorite Yadid, having just one loss, uh, and it would be a good test for him taking on the Darren Elgin. Moving on to the co-main event. And here we have the veteran Diego Ferreira taking on Billy Curantillo. Billy Curantillo is moving up, and it's in a lightweight bout, so Billy is not natural lightweight. Both have 7 losses, and if you look at the recent record, then both have 2 losses. If I'm not wrong, yes, both have 2 losses. And last loss for the Billy was KO in 2024, and it's coming off like after 2 years. And then the last loss was in September 2025, also by KO in Noche UFC Lopez versus Silva. So it would be pretty interesting having a advantage of uh, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and also it's more experience, natural lightweight. I think so. Diego Ferreira has more chances here to get this done by submission. Let's move on to the main card. Gamrot taking on Salkilld. Pretty interesting fight. Gamrot has a interesting record. If you look, he lost to Dan Hooker. He won against Arman Sarikian. He lost to Benil Dariush. He lost to Charles Oliveira. Uh, so yeah, but styles make fights, so you never know. And Gamrot has a wrestling background, which is advantageous in this fight. But if you look, Saul killed last fight, he won against Benil Dariush. But Benil Dariush has won against Gamrot in 2022. So it's way back. And yeah, I think in striking, it's huge advantage for the Salkilld in wrestling, grappling. Mm, more advantage to the Gamrot, but I would again go with betting favorite Salkilld, get it done by KO. And that concludes the UFC Fight Night, Gamrot versus Salkilld. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.